So, if there is a cannibal in our basement today, I will take good care of you, and I'll take your decrepit remains and bury them in a graveyard. And since you booked the ghost tour, I think you'd like it to be the most haunted graveyard, unless you rest in pieces alongside me. I just told you that the dead rose from their graves in this graveyard. So why do you think there's a cage placed on top of this grave? Not to stop anyone from getting out. To stop them from getting in. You see, the dead did rise from the graves in the 1800s, but that's because people were digging them up for money. See, back in that time, Edinburgh had become the hub for medical and anatomical research. But due to a lack of cadavers coming in from the hanged criminals and orphanages and asylums, body snatching became the new rage. It's different from grave robbing. Grave robbing is stealing belongings from a grave. Body snatching, stealing the body. So maybe that's why this place is so haunted. Back then, the belief was that if your body was dissected, you would not go to heaven. You'd be doomed to forever be a wandering sprite on this earth. Bloody Mackenzie's Covenant Prison is Europe's first concentration camp. And after 5 months, only 400 made it out alive. So welcome folks into our King's Room. Why is this called the King's Room? Well, it's because we believe it, well, we don't, it's been a long day, bear with me. It's because we class this as the king of the underground. This is where our underground was discovered. Now, these rooms were still used as storage spaces for the shops above. Obviously, they were not as expansive and intertwining as the underground, but they were still used. But over the times, they started to become, abandoned, unused, rickety. And these shop owners and the council owned the flats decided that in 1960s, they were going to turn them into student accommodation. But in 1984, this flat would be bought over by Nowry Rowan. Now, Nowry Rowan was a rugby player for Scotland, all the way up from Aberdeen. But when he was 26, he had shattered his ankle during a rugby game and he would never go back to the sport. So he decided he was going to go back to university. He was going to study sports science and sports medicine, so he could still help out in the field but not necessarily play the sport. Now obviously this is very devastating. Excuse me, my eyes are up here, you pervert. Now, obviously that is very sad for him, but he gets the notoriety of quite a lot of students, both because he's a well-known rugby star and because he can get all the drugs and alcohol that the underage students can't get. So inside of this flat, whether that's the true story or it's just a legend, all that we know is this vault was abandoned and all 25 of them were placed inside with resources like food and water. And the door was loosely bricked up, so that from the outside the vault never existed, but from the inside they could still knock it down if they had to. Hoping that some way it would fall in, and all the others could do was pray, hoping that something would happen. But as the fire burned for 5 more days, this room turns into temperatures akin to 400 degrees Celsius, which sounds like a lot and a quick burning death, but it's not. It's not enough for bodies to turn to ash. It's simply enough for the fat and the flesh to blister and boil off the bone as if it's wax stuck in a candle. And when the fire is finally put out by torrential rain, the forces sent down to evacuate the vaults find the melted amalgamations stuck to the floor. Some people say that their blood and flesh melded with the rock, but that's just a legend. The spirits, though, are active.